Thank you for joining us on our very first inaugural Comics on the Rocks. Tonight we're going to be discussing the image graphic novel, Magic Order by Mark Millar. I'm going to be joined by a wonderful dear friend that has been in this industry, in and out of this industry for a long time. She was my very first general manager when I had Heroes. I always have to remember the name of that store for some reason. When I had Heroes. So let's bring Marita Beth on board.
Hi.
Hello, Marita Beth.
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm excited and a little nervous because I've never done anything like this before, but I'm very glad to be here.
Well, good. So tell us a little bit about your thoughts on Magic Order. Just a brief overview.
A brief overview of the Magic Order. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if everybody can see that. I didn't know what to expect. I know that I like Mark Millar's work, and I was anxious to read it. And I knew I could tell, obviously, it deals with magic, which is something I enjoy as a subject matter. So I dug in easily and happily. I think it's brilliant storytelling. It makes me have questions. It makes me want to know more about the world he's writing about.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll probably talk about that. What do you think? What happened before this? And what happens after that? So you did you want me to actually encapsulate the story?
No, I was just so I basically brought you a stack of graphic novels.
Yes.
And explained the show to you and let you go through them. And this was the first one that you chose.
This was the first one I chose.
And it was because of magic?
It was because of the subject matter magic. It was because I really liked the art style. And the name Mark Millar rang a bell, of course. It was a little thinner than a couple of the other ones you brought me.
Come on now.
So I knew I could get the assignment done, as it were. And as it is, I am now halfway through the next one, and I love it. But we won't talk about that one tonight. But I've actually read this one twice now because I was. We originally kind of wanted to do this last week and that didn't work out. Right. So I had read it in time for that. And then I'm like, and a whole other week is going to go by. I'm going to have to reread it and make sure that it's fresh. So that's the first thing I did when I got up this morning was read it again. I really enjoy it. I enjoyed it the second time just as much, if not more, than the first. And I think I might have caught a couple of things the second time through that I might have missed the first time.
Which is always the mark of a good writer.
Yeah.
So the second part of the name of this show is On the Rocks. So we've got our comic, we've got magic.
Yes.
I will start off with my drink. Since we are dealing with magic, I decided that tonight is an absinthe kind of night.
Absinthe.
So I have my absinthe. I have my sugar cubes. I have my...
You're doing the whole green fairy dance.
Absinthe, yes.
That's awesome.
Spoon. So I'm going to be making this while you tell us what you're drinking and why you chose it.
But you didn't tell why. I want to know why absinthe.
Because that's the drink of the artists and the dreamers and it's the green fairy.
For bohemian sort of reasons, a la Moulin Rouge and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. I see that very well. So I think I was inspired by the fact that within the story, the Magic Order, time is not always linear, and we have moments in the story or segments of the story that aren't set present day; they're set in the past, and specifically, they bounce back to World War II and spend quite a few pages there. In that time period, the 1940s. And when I think that period, I always think about simple, very simple, 2-ingredient drinks, leftover speakeasy kind of drinks, And so I decided it was a gin and tonic night. So I am drinking a gin and tonic. I have mixed myself my first one. I have the supplies behind me here. You can see I have my 3 of my favorite bottles of gin and my favorite tonic and a little ice bucket and my little limes and everything. I'm like ready to go. I never have to leave.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. And I'm not drinking out of a classic glass. I'm going to point out that I'm actually drinking tonight out of a glass I personally made.
Cool.
So yeah, so it's a good night.
Cool.
Cheers.
Well, cheers. Oh, you get over here on the right side. Okay. Cheers.
We'll get better at that. Clink.
Yeah. So basically, Magic Order, as we said, it's written by Mark Millar and illustrated by Olivia Capillo. It's the first series the first of the new Millar universe. Basically, what happened is Millar sold the rights to the Millar universe, which is basically anything that Mark Millar creates, to Netflix. So Netflix gets the first right of refusal to make a series or a movie or something on any of his products or projects. It's centered around the Magic Order, which is a group of 5 families of magicians, and they're entrusted to keep the world safe from supernatural problems. However, the Order is in danger. Some of its members are being targeted and assassinated, and they now have to find the enemy and stop the murders. The Magic Order lives among regular people day in and day out. I always used I used the Harry Potter meets Sopranos when I was doing my elevator pitch to sell this book to people.
Nice.
Because it has the gangster family type atmosphere to it, but it's in a magical world that exists with ours.
Right. What it reminded me of, the concept of this Magic Order having a centuries old mandate, if you will, passed down through the generations, of protecting, the common people that don't have a clue what's going on. It reminds me of the premise behind Men in Black.
Yeah.
Where Men in Black is this, we don't know how long it's been going on, but this pseudo underground government organization that's meant to protect people from shit they don't even know is happening. And, they're very clear about, blending in and being invisible, but being there to protect people and then erase memories. And this Magic Order seems to do that too. If something big goes down, they can go back and erase memories so that nobody's traumatized. They can explain explosions as oil leaks or gas leaks and stuff like that. So that was one of the things that I saw as a comparison. I like that concept of
right.
There's a secret organization of people out there that know more than I do, keeping me safe, and I'm okay with that.
Well, cool. Looks like we've got about 12 viewers right now.
Oh, neat.
So if everybody would just say hi in the comments so we know who all's here. Hey, Morgan. It's my little Morgan.
Like you're Morgan. Hi, Morgan.
So if you'll say hi so that we know you're here. We can also ask questions as we're talking about the book and what's going on. I'm going to go a little bit over into the Netflix part of it, just to let you know that it has been picked up by Netflix. It's got a full series order already with James Wan, who did the Saw franchise. Which should be pretty interesting, and Lindsay Beer as the showrunner. So it's going to be a pretty awesome series when it gets made.
That's awesome.
Yep. It was originally a 6-issue limited series, came out in 2018. The trade paperback is available now. And it has, yep, there it is. And it has all kinds of awesome reviews from everybody. So let's go ahead and dig into who the characters are. So you basically have the Moonstone family.
Yes.
So the Moonstone family is the main protagonist in the book. And they're the ones that are pretty much the head family, I would say, in the Magic Order.
Yeah.
So do you want to go through your favorite characters?
Well, Cordelia is badass, wonderful.
Cordelia
did I get her name right? Cordelia?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not very good with names. So people that know me and love me will recognize that sometimes I don't remember the names of actual people that I know, and I should remember their names. So I promise you I don't remember the names of all the people in the book. So you will have to bear with me.
Hold on just a second. Santino, the name of the book is Magic Order. Yep, Magic Order.
The Magic Order.
The Magic Order.
There's a little "the" at the top there. Yeah.
So anyway, that was one of the comments. I'll be keeping up with the comments as we go.
Yeah, I'm not seeing those. I guess only the host of the show sees
those. See it. If you go to the very right of your screen, the very top button up there should be comments.
Oh.
If you click on that.
Yeah, hang on. I apologize if I screw up the thingy for me, but I have to find the mouse. Okay, there we go. Live comment.
Pretty good gin and tonic.
Pardon me?
That was a pretty good gin and tonic, huh?
Hey, it's an awesome gin and tonic. No, the mouse disappears. Kyle's got this. I'm on my husband's.
Because it goes over to the other screen.
Because I've got the camera I'm looking at on this TV, this computer, and the bigger screen that actually works better with the mouse over here. So okay, so now I think I see comments, and I see more comments, and somebody named James and somebody named Brandon. Hi, everybody. Oh, that's fun. I think it's wonderful that there's, I was thinking, there'd be 3 or 4 people.
Hey, Steve Gursky.
What? What?
Steve Gursky just joined us.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Steve. Oh, wonderful. That's
Steve,
really
thank you for doing this. That's really cool.
Yeah, it totally. Yeah, totally.
Steve is a friend of ours from, I guess it was 5 years ago when we all worked together, and
5. Yeah, 5.
5 years ago.
5.
So, but anyway, so the Moonstone family. So the father of the Moonstone family is Leonard. So, and he works.
Papa, that's the stage magician, right?
He's the stage magician. He performs under the title of the Moonstone the Magnificent. So he's the father. And so your favorite character
is the wayward daughter.
Yep. So we first see her as she comes. We first meet her because she's in the back of a police car.
Yes. She is an escape artist. She has been an escape artist.
It says so on her business card.
Her entire life. She's had business cards that said that since she was a little bitty girl. And so, yeah, she apparently makes a habit of getting into trouble because there's no consequences when you can just get right back out of trouble.
Yep.
So, yeah, she's quite the character.
So, so we also have her brother Reagan. He is the more stable son, I guess. Reagan owns a nightclub in Boston. He's the one that everybody thinks is going to take over the family.
Right. Right.
And
he seems very solid and very calm and collected most of the time. He's the one that goes to get things done.
Right. He's not really calm. He's a bit of a hothead because he's the one that wants to go ahead and just fix the problem right away.
Well, that's true.
Which is
Yeah,
can create problems.
We know who's doing this. Let's just go get her.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not think it out.
Yeah.
So there's another brother, Gabriel.
Before you leave, I think it's really neat. One of the things that I really appreciate about today's comics is they're not afraid of issues, and they're based in real,
Yep.
And Regan is queer. He's gay. Yeah. He talks about his boyfriend. So it's awesome. It's just really nice, inclusive, diverse.
What's really fun for me is having been back in it in the comics. So as a bit of background, Rita Beth and I were in comics together from 1982 to 1996, basically. We worked together in the comics industry. And to have a queer, bi, any type of character like that was unheard of.
Yeah.
You
even
might
in the 90s,
get it in the small press stuff, or something like that. And then for me, having been back in it for 6-7 years now, it is so commonplace that I didn't even, to me, it was natural.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool.
And
that's the way it should be.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. That's absolutely the way it should be.
Yeah.
For me, I've taken I have a bit of a gap in my experience. So,
which is why I'm trying to get you caught back up.
While I've helped out a bit with Collected, most of my experience is from 20 years ago or more.
Yeah. So the other brother is Gabriel, and he just doesn't have anything to do with magic at all. He had a thing in his past where he feels like his daughter died because of magic, and he's married. He lives a normal life, and he just doesn't want to get involved at all. But Reagan makes the comment a couple of times that Gabriel is so much better than he is with magic.
A much better magician.
So we know that he's the prodigal, but he doesn't want to be.
Talent because he's not using it right now.
Yeah. So, and then to round out the family, we have Edgar Moonstone, who is
is that the
brother?
Edgar. Is he the crazy little uncle guy?
Uh-huh.
Trapped in the castle?
Okay. Yeah. So the Moonstone Castle is actually inside of a painting inside the Chicago Museum of Art.
I love that, by the way. I think that's so clever.
So Edgar Edgar can never leave the painting. Right. So he's trapped in there for reasons.
For reasons. Yeah. Reasons.
So that's the whole Moonstone family. Now there are 5 families total. We don't go into a lot of the other ones, which is so much, depth out there that we can get into with other stories.
Are there other stories? Yes.
It's a universe. He was supposed to start writing the second series in February. So hopefully the second series comes out, but what we don't know is, does it continue from the end of this series?
Right.
Or does it go back in the past, or does it look at all of this from another family's point of view?
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, how do you handle spoilers in this situation?
I try to I'm not going to give away the big reveal at the end. Okay. But anything besides that. So
we would is it going too far to say I want prequels if I'm going to learn about those other families?
Yeah.
Prequels.
No, yeah, that would be good.
Okay. And that would be good.
So the family that looks to be the villains in the story is the Albany family.
Yep.
So they are the ones that have decided that they really want a certain tome of magic that was lost from Atlantis that the Moonstones have. So they're trying to get it because it allows them, it's dark magic, which
all
means it gives all the power, but it requires human sacrifice. which, the Moonstones use all of their magic without doing human sacrifice.
Right.
So,
well, the whole point of the magic order of protecting humankind is thrown out the window by this bad guy family, the Alvin family.
I guess we didn't. I don't know that we went into that in the beginning, but yeah, the whole purpose of the magic order when they were first formed way back when was that they were to protect mankind from all of the supernatural things that could get them.
Right. And in so protecting, they've created libraries and vaults where they keep all of these dangerous things and dangerous magical tools, books of spells and whatnot.
Right.
And so this family has decided they're tired of those things being shut away and not being able to be used by anybody.
Yep.
They want to use them. They want to control it all. And they go for it.
Yep.
In the worst, most horrific ways possible. Some really interesting story techniques. I don't know what words I'm looking for. Help me out here, but things like being able to alter somebody's reality to the point where they literally don't exist anymore.
Right. Yeah.
That scene was crazy to me. They just totally changed the physics of the world, and this one family basically ceases to exist, and somebody else is suddenly living where they used to live, and it's very strange. It's very strange. What are you showing? Yes.
That's the first murder scene that we see.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's pretty horrible too.
Yeah.
Let's use the 5-year-old as the murder weapon.
That was the hook that got me into the story. That was page 2, and I was just hooked at that point.
Well, and see, there's how you and I are different, because for me that's like it's a good thing the whole story's not going to be like that, or I'm out. I don't do horror. I don't like horror. So, and blood and guts where there don't need to be blood and guts in my story. So I was.
There's not a lot of blood and guts. I mean, they use it for effect.
If they were all like that, I might have been like, I might have gotten to the end of this book with you and gone, okay, thanks, Mark Millar. We're done with that one. But as it was, it's not all like that. It's just that one is very horrific and very gotcha. They do want you to keep reading, but
not
my thing. Not my favorite one. Not my favorite one. But
so
that's what hooked you in, huh?
Yeah, it was like when that happened, it was like, oh, it's all on the table. There is nothing off limits now. What in the hell are they going to do next?
Right? Nothing is sacred.
Yep.
That's good. Well, that's good storytelling when nothing is sacred.
Yeah. And that was the other thing is it was kind of like, Game of Thrones in a way, in that no character was sacred either.
Right.
You had no idea which ones were going to survive till the end of the story.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Or if any of them survive and the bad guys win.
True. Magic is unpredictable.
Yes, it is. Steve just commented, nice art and good storytelling. This is some of Capel's best artwork. I mean, he did a lot of Avengers and some other stuff that was, for Marvel and DC, but this is absolutely, you can tell that he has ownership in this.
Yeah, it's beautiful art. I really enjoyed the art.
Steve, you can drink whatever you would like. Rita Beth is drinking gin.
I'm drinking gin and tonic.
And I'm drinking the Green Fairy.
But vodka works too.
Vodka works too. That was my second choice. I was looking for I used to have Blavodka. Have you ever had that? It's a black vodka, and it's a black vodka, and you can put drops of grenadine in it, and it looks like little drops of blood going down in the black.
Oh, I've heard of that. What's it called?
Blavodka, like black vodka, Blavodka.
Okay.
So that was when I couldn't find. Yeah, when I couldn't find the absinthe at first, that was what I was going to go to next, and then when I was looking for the grenadine, I found the absinthe.
Good for you. Good for you. Is that black vodka flavored in some way? Is it absinthe?
No, it's just
anise flavored? No, it's just vodka.
I'm sure they may have some different flavors out there, but the one that I had was just regular.
And to answer the question a little further, Steve, I was challenged with what would I pair, right? Like I'm into my alcohol and food and wine and food and drinks. What would I pair this comic book with? And so I decided gin and tonic because of the historical throwbacks, the time jumping aspects of the story reminded me of gin and vodka. So
every episode will be different because we'll be pairing it with a different book, right? And we'll have a different reason to drink a different drink.
And you'll have a different drunk on camera with you.
So yes, I'm. Bourbon and Scotch are my favorites. That's usually what powers.
My go-to.
If you ever watch any of our live sales, that is usually. Say hello to my puppies.
Speaking of whiskey.
Yes, my two beagles are named Whiskey and Scotch. So if that gives you an idea, so if you watch our live sales, every live sale that I do is powered by a different whiskey or bourbon or local brewery. So
it's lovely. Lovely.
Okay, so back to the book.
Back to the book.
So I've kind of set up the characters. You want to go a little bit into what happens now?
Like I said, I don't know how much of the story you want to give away. Some of these poor people might be looking forward to reading it, but I can. Yeah, I'll answer questions what do you want me to do? Tell me what
you'd make the mention about storytelling devices.
Well, people have been killing people in comic books for decades, and it's always interesting to me. And magic stories are what they are. We've seen a million different versions of magical deaths and good guys and bad guys, wand wielding saviors and whatnot. And I just found that there were a couple of the methods that were used by the antagonist in this story that were really interesting, and finding out more about this Venetian character that she's paired up with is going to be really interesting if that character recurs, because he's crazy. He's in a kind of a medieval sort of robe and wears a mask, not unlike the guy in V for Vendetta, kind of a mask like that, and kind of a weird big Elizabethan collar. Who knows what era he's supposed to be representing, but he's a dude to be reckoned with, and the methods of killing people are very interesting to me. Like I said, that one part of the story where I don't remember which family it is now, we're introduced to an ill mother and a couple of members of her family. And yeah, that's the dude. Because so to you tell me, he's in some sort of a Elizabethan or Cavalier collar. He's in a Dracula sort of cape. He's got on a 18th century nautical hat, like a pirate hat. Who knows what period he thinks he belongs to? But he's very foreboding. He's obviously full of all kinds of magic we don't
He
understand.
belongs to all of the periods.
Exactly, and I think that's maybe without putting it into those words and realizing it. That's what I was saying when I'm like, I don't know where it belongs. But that's part of the fun of the story is that time is not linear, and they can move through it and do. And in fact, isn't she awesome? She's just badass.
Fight like a girl. That's Cordelia. That's Marita Beth's favorite character. My favorite character too. I have to admit.
She's just awesome, and I want to give away the end, but she proves how awesome she is. She starts out being, the bad girl, naughty, look at me, I'm cute and sexy, and I'm gonna get your attention because I'm unpredictable and a bad girl, and then, she's all that. she's just amazing, and she earns her position in the family quite well.
Yes, she does.
And comes out of it on top. So that's cool. From a time traveling standpoint, can I jump on that in a second?
Yeah.
The concept of the fact that there is this place, and I can't remember what they call it, club of something. There's this place and it looks in the book, it's a big building, like a big hotel kind of building, and it's a place that exists. They say it exists in all times, and so
it's like the Rosetta Stone for magic.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it exists in all times, and so when you go there, you have to be a magical person to go there. When you go there, you are in your time, whatever time you've traveled there from, but you might be from 2020, but over there's a guy in 1945, sitting at a table, and over here, who knows, in the future, where they didn't really talk about it, but there could be people from the future. So I just found that very fascinating that there's, this kind of restaurant at the end of the universe kind of thing, to borrow Adams, but this place that is just, it's always there. You can always count on it being a great meeting place for people that need a place to meet. They can't just meet anywhere and talk magic and compare wands, I guess. So anyway, it's just really cool. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah,
Steve asked a question, and I don't know Munden's Bar.
It is like Munden's Bar. It's exactly. And Steve, I don't know if you keep up much with the industry anymore, but there is a Grimjack Munden's Bar series being worked on right now. I don't know
what that is.
It was a backup it was Grimjack. The character that Steve Irwin actually did a little bit on. It was a backup in one of the other first books at first. Make another. But yeah, Munden's Bar was the place that all of the other first comic stuff branched off from. And it was the meeting place where you could go. Tim Truman wrote it. Flynn Henry drew it. John Ostrander and Tim Truman. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name. At the Comics Pro meeting I met, he was the executive producer on The Boys, which is another incredible Amazon series if you haven't seen it, based on a comic book series. But because he made so much money on The Boys, he's getting to throw all of that money into making a Grimjack Munden's Bar series that he's trying to sell to Amazon as well.
Nice.
And so if you think of First Comics as being like Nexus and and Grimjack and was Starfire part of that? I think it was. But all of those, and Munden's Bar was like the center of all of that universe where they went in. And
so it was woven into all the stories.
Yeah, and Grimjack could go anywhere, you know, and he was basically a bounty hunter, bad guy, or not bad guy, anti-hero type.
Yeah, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to put together a complete run of the old Grimjack books so I can go back and reread them, because I haven't read them since they first came out, you know. So
I did not read that series. I feel like I vaguely remember Kyle reading them, my husband reading them.
Yeah.
I did not. So.
But yeah, on this, so basically this story deals with the murder of the families and how that comes to a conclusion.
Yep.
Yeah, Steve, especially towards the end when Flynn Henry was drawing it. Flynn Henry has a very kinetic, just out there style of art that melded well with what Tim Truman did in the early days. But yeah, it was a good series. I think I'm 3 issues short on having the whole thing, so I can go back and read it. Then I'll sell it off as a set.
Here.
Let me figure out. Okay.
All right, wait. All right, there we go.
There.
Side of the screen. It's so weird. Ron and I, for those of you who are thinking I'm just dyslexic or something, we were talking about it right before we started. So often when you're on a camera like this, and I have very little experience, this is like the second time I've ever done it in my life, but I see other people do it. And most of the time, the image is reversed. Like if I were to hold up a book, it would be backwards, like Leonardo da Vinci, right? And this thing that we're using tonight, not doing that. So when you look at yourself on the screen, you're not seeing the you usually see, because you're not seeing in a mirror. You're seeing what other people see, which is weird. I don't know if you have any experience with
except for
yourself on the screen. What?
It's only the written stuff that isn't backwards. Everything else is backwards.
No, because if I were in a mirror, my drinks would be like, I'm looking at the camera. This is my right hand.
That's true. Okay, I see. I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My drinks are on my right, and yet in your picture they're on my left, or like they look like they're on my right. They look like they're on my right, which is you're seeing what I'm actually experiencing instead of a mirror.
Right. Yeah.
Does that make sense? And it's strange. One of the things. This is a total off the subject. Can I do that?
Hey, Brent, is that you? I think Brent just joined us.
Did he?
I hope you're feeling better.
Yay. It's so weird. I keep thinking I'm going to hear them talk, but now I can't hear them. But just a quick aside. This whole mirror versus not mirror thing. Way back in the way back time when I worked for you and I was married to my first husband, Roger, who many people knew. He was a photographer, and he would always, this is back in the days of film, way before digital photography. And he would always, when he was printing pictures to show somebody he had taken portraits of, he would always print them backwards so that they would see their mirror, which is what we're familiar with seeing. And people like the pictures better. Statistics show people like what they see in the mirror better than what they see on film. So anyway, so that's why I'm like, this is very strange to be looking at myself, but it's not a mirror. Weird. Very weird. Okay, so anyway, back to the magic order.
It's almost like magic.
It's almost like magic.
Yeah.
The camera thing.
Yeah.
All of this. The fact that I am talking to you and you are, what, 10 miles away?
Yep. See,
we're seeing each other.
We're
there are people all over the country watching us.
Yes. We've got Steve Gursky up in
magic.
Pennsylvania.
It's magic.
Or Jersey. Where are you living now, Steve?
Philadelphia?
I think so.
I keep thinking we're going to hear him, but I think he's in Philly.
Morgan said,
have another drink. I got you. I see you. That's right. I'm going to keep doing that. It's all right. That's what it's all about.
I'm about to put my...
I wondered if you were even drinking.
Huh?
I wondered if you were even drinking. You've let me get too big a head start on you.
So, yeah, Steve is in Pennsylvania.
So I thought.
So, it just... If you don't finish a drink before you start another one with absinthe, it kind of... You're just adding more sugar, more ice, and you can't get the right...
So you already finished one?
Huh?
You already finished one?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I didn't see you drinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did you choose your outfit to match the glass? Is what I want to know.
No. I did not. I did not. I don't have very many handmade glasses that are tumbler shaped. Most of what I have is goblet shaped, and you don't drink a gin and tonic out of a goblet. Yeah. I have a goblet that is exactly the shade of teal turquoise and exactly purple, like it would have been the perfect match, but no. I did this just happens to be the little cup that I made. It's in my years of apprenticing with a master glass blower who was amazing. Her name is Shannon Jane Morgan, and her company is Girl Glass, and she's on Facebook, so you can go look at that. But anyway, in my years of apprenticing with her, I did a lot of assisting, and most of the things that I can say I helped with, I didn't do the entire thing. Sometimes I was in control of it. Sometimes I was just helping with it. I was an apprentice and learning. This is the only piece. This is like one of the last pieces I ever did. This is the only piece where she didn't even touch it. I made the whole thing by myself. And so that's a really big accomplishment, and I'm very proud of it. So that's why I chose this glass, not because it happens to be purple and white. So anyway, purple and white being a theme that's been with me since my TCU days. But no.
Brent, I'm going to have to remember that for next time.
What are we remembering?
You said instead of just our name, it should have been our name and what we were drinking.
Yeah, because the gin and tonic is the star here. Yeah, easily. Next time.
So,
I want to know, Morgan, if Morgan is still with us, I want to know if she's actually having a martini or if she's just cute and clever with her comic teenies.
She said she was cooking. She sent me a private message saying that she was cooking. So
cool.
She is out in California, and she's able to work from home right now. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool. Well, in California, much like in the Northeast, they've taken this very seriously. And so most people are working from home if they're working at all. So,
yeah.
Good for her. Good for her.
So going back a little bit to the book, for those that don't know Mark Millar's name, Millar is and I'm not sure. I've always pronounced it Millar. It could be Miller.
Does anybody know how he says it? I don't know.
I don't know. This is one of the guys that I've never met, but I hope
he'll forgive us if we're mispronouncing it.
Yeah. He wrote Wanted, which of course became a movie with Angelina Jolie. He wrote the Kingsman series. So, he is good at creating worlds that can translate over into film and series well. So,
Yes.
Morgan says she is cooking dinner.
That doesn't mean she can't be also drinking.
Oh, that's right, Steve. He also wrote Kick-Ass.
Right. Yes. Which is one of those odd cases of something that I absolutely love, and nobody thought I would like it because it's full of blood and gore, but I just think it's hysterical. Yep.
For those that can see the picture for Morgan up there, does that show up in everybody's feed?
Oh, where? Oh, her own little picture?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's so little.
Okay. She's dancing with Pikachu?
At the wedding.
At the wedding. I actually surprised her by wearing the Pikachu costume and coming in and doing the first dance with her. Because she had a Pokemon wedding.
Best bride daddy dance ever.
And I love that even this many years later, she still has it as her. That makes my heart proud.
Of course. I mean, why wouldn't she? It's awesome. That's awesome.
And she didn't even ask me if I was a little short to be a Pikachu.
Oh, so the Magic Order becoming a Netflix thing is going to happen, right?
Yeah, it's the series has already been ordered. They ordered a full.
Yes, it's cute, Morgan. Very cute.
They ordered a full run of it, so I guess 8 episodes. Awesome. And they have started casting, but they haven't announced any of the casting yet. So I want them to announce Cordelia first, because I think you have to get Cordelia right, because everybody else kind of falls from there.
Yeah, I don't know all of my. Yeah, I don't even know who I would suggest. Do you have a?
No, not right now. I know actresses that I grew up with that I would have suggested.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm stuck to. I'm too old to do the suggesting on this one.
I still remember the ones that made an impression on me when I was young.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can imagine I just don't look at the young actresses anymore.
I don't believe that for half a minute.
It's true, though. I can't tell you a single one. But I can describe Phoebe Cates without... What? I can describe Phoebe Cates completely.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, golly. That's funny. We just watched like a recent Charlie's Angels thing.
Uh-huh.
And some of those chicks are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess even that now isn't recent enough, I guess. I don't know.
No, that was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
I don't know who's up and coming.
Yeah, and that for Brent also. Huh?
Steve Gursky says Olivia de Havilland. Hey, suddenly I don't feel old. That's hysterical. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, Brent just said there wasn't a bad issue in the run, and after reading each one, it made him want to read the next.
Yeah.
And that's I want that second book to hurry up and get out here, but then I have to wait a month between each issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely prefer graphic novel style storytelling. The waiting is hard for me. Hard. Yeah. There were a couple of times in reading this where, like, most of the time I don't even notice when I'm switching issues, like when it goes on, I'm into the story and I'm not paying attention. But there were a couple of times where I was like, you've got to be kidding me. That's where they stopped the story. No way. I'm so glad I have the graphic novel. Yeah.
It reminds me of.
I haven't read it yet, but that want to read it, absolutely read the graphic novel.
Yeah, it's definitely, and you'll read it in one setting.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. It's kind of like, to me, I liken it to a Dan Brown novel. Dan Brown writes pretty light stuff. It's not like real heavy stuff or anything, but he has the talent of ending every chapter at just a point. Okay, I'll just read the next page.
Right.
Of the first
right. Yeah. And then it's 5 o'clock in the morning and you've been reading all night.
Yeah, I can't go to sleep leaving this, and that's the way this series was. They did a really good job also as far as pacing goes. I'm just going to show a couple of random scenes here, but where you can see on this page over here, how they use the multi-panels. And thank God they used white gutters. It became real popular for a little while to use dark gutters. And my eyes just like white gutters so much better.
Yeah, it's way easier.
And then it'll slow down the story with the big splash page like that.
Yeah, there were a couple of times. I'm looking at that same page you were talking about.
Yeah.
And that one at least still goes down the left page and then down the right page. There were a couple of times, and I don't know if I can find one or not, where I was really intrigued by how they used. Well, this isn't the one I was thinking of, but this is a good visual example of they used the whole thing at the top, and then at the bottom, you still have to go left to right, and it's like, for me, it's a little hard to switch my brain. Like, I don't always.
This is another one.
I do my best to channel Scott McCloud and follow.
Right. Yeah.
And understanding comics is important.
Yes, it's like this one here. Where you have the splash page.
Yeah, and it kind of falls across.
Follows there.
Yeah.
And then goes up. And then down, and then over. Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Okay, Morgan, the gutters are the white spaces in between the panels, the white spaces, and it gives your eye a rest and tells your eye, okay, we're changing scenes. So it's kind of like a cut scene in a comic book.
Yeah. Ooh, hi. Sorry, that's me getting a phone call.
And there for a little while, Steve, the artist is Olivier Capil.
Hang on, find it.
Yeah.
Olivier Coipel. Olivier Coipel. I'll get good at this camera thing no matter what. One of these days.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Just the big 2-page spread that you were showing earlier, and then and then the panels underneath. So yeah, for anybody that's really interested in how your brain is processing comics, there's a wonderful book out there called Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. It is always in stock at my store. And Morgan, I think you would enjoy it. Morgan designs video games.
Yeah, she would enjoy it.
She does a lot of this subconsciously anyway, with cutscenes and things like that. But yeah, it's really interesting. It completely elevated the way that I read comics after I read Understanding Comics.
Me too.
Because then you noticed a lot of the things that the artists were doing and why they were doing it.
Yes, it helped you understand better what was going on, or it did for me. I was still kind of new, you know, ish.
Yeah.
And it was really helpful, and it's super helpful for anybody that is new, you know, like
right. It's been really fun for me at conventions. There's like different artists that do portfolio reviews and everything, and almost every one of them will tell the person that they're doing the portfolio review for, go get Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud.
I know, right?
Yeah, that one, and there's a Perspectives book that's really good. And just hearing those repeated so many times, that's one of the reasons why I carry it in the store. But yeah, it will completely change the way that you read comics. And
What?
Does that mean that you can tell me now? Or do I have to wait for Tuesday morning also? Morgan's been working on a game for Hangar 13, and she has been so diligent in her NDA that she won't even tell her dad what the game is.
Public blog thing. She can't tell you now. Wait.
So Tuesday, I guess we get to find out what the game is.
Oh, nice. Exciting. Very exciting. Very exciting.
So
you're doing amazing work out there, Morgan. We're proud of you.
Yep. Cool. But yeah, so Understanding Comics, he's gone back in and done another book called Reinventing Comics.
Yes.
And then he is also hey, Facebook user, unfortunately, yeah.
Oh, who is Facebook user? Somebody who knows us. That's fun.
Facebook user, let us know who you are. Unfortunately, on the comments, it just comes across as Facebook user because you're watching it. You're not signed in.
Yeah, you have to actually sign in.
Yeah, so let us know who you are.
Or message. You can message us privately. I have my phone if you want to just say it's me, but I don't want to be, you know, whatever.
We have Steve Gursky on here. We have Brent on here. So it's people that have been around for a while.
Somebody just messaged me. Oh no, that's my spam alert. I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, I love gin and tonic.
So one last thing on Scott McCloud before we get off of Scott McCloud.
We should have told him we were doing this.
Huh?
We should have told him we were doing this.
Well, we yeah, James, I'd be happy to. Hey, it's John Christian.
Hi, John. How wonderful. It's like old home week.
So James asked if we could dive a little bit deeper into Understanding Comics.
I'd love to. You're at home. I'm at home too, but I have a copy in the other room. Do you need me to go grab it?
Yeah, get it because I don't have one handy. It's
okay.
Behind my
Enjoy the view of my gin and tonic tray, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Hey, John, I think Brent's on here too, or he may have gotten off. Brent's been sick, so he may have gotten off. So, James, anyway, Scott McCloud is he created a comic called Zot a long time ago. But he is basically a student and professor of comic books. And so he broke down exactly how, or not exactly how, but he broke down all of the different components of comics and how they work and how our brain interprets them. So as we talked about earlier, the gutters. The gutters are and why I prefer white gutters instead of muddy black and brown gutters is because it's a clear delineation that you're going from point A to point B. when you have a gutter around a panel. Now, there are also panels behind panels, which take the gutter away. And so you have the big picture behind it. And then the panels inside are telling the story that is happening in the big picture. Just different things like that. The size of the panels. So if you've ever read Watchmen, and they did it also in the updated Doomsday Clock, where Gibbons was the artist for the original Watchmen. So much of it was done in 9-panel pages. So you had 3 across, 3 down, and you have to do it in a way. When you have standard panels with gutters, your brain knows you go from left to right. At least in Western culture, you go left to right, next row, left to right, next row, left to right. The number of panels will speed up the action, or it will slow down action with larger panels where it pulls back and gives you an overview.
I lied. I can't get to it.
That's the way mine is behind all the boxes that I have for the live sale. James, next time you come into the store, I'll show it to you. We have a couple of copies in the store. The other thing that that is so good about it is also making sure that the artwork, when you're not using panels and you're not using you're using the artwork to make the eye go from point A to point B. I think he used panels during most of this book, but in other books, McFarlane was really, McFarlane did many things where he didn't use panels. Yep, that's the book right there. And what you will find is that they will create the art in like a spiral where your eye is following the art already to take you to the next place that you're supposed to read. So it's one of the things that they do like that. But yeah, it is. I think it's a necessary read for anybody that wants to delve into the art of comics. Not that you want to be an artist as much as just to understand how comics work. Which I guess is why it's called Understanding Comics.
Clever title.
Yeah. But anyway, one of the graphic novels I left with you was Sculptor, right?
Yes.
Okay. It might be fun to do Understanding Comics on one of these shows.
It would be fun. I think it's a great idea. And I love Sculptor. I've read it before, but I wanted to reread it before we did this.
Yeah.
And that's why you left it with me. But it's a great book. Great.
Yeah. And I think it's probably Scott's. I don't know that he's written a original graphic novel since then. Really? I think that was the story he always wanted to tell.
Yeah, probably. How do you top that?
Yeah. So. Uh-oh. Brent's doing some sleuthing here and saying Morgan's announcement, he wants to know if Morgan's announcement had something to do with the Unreal Engine announcement today.
That's not fair. Don't do that to her. Morgan, I love you more than Dad does, apparently. You have my permission to log off so you don't have to spill the beans. But if you want to, we're here.
If anybody played Mafia 3 from Hangar 13, Morgan worked on that game. So that was her very first game, I think, out of the chute when she graduated and went to work for Hangar 13.
She was recruited, if I remember correctly. Yeah. They wanted her. Yeah. And they took her to California.
Far, far away.
Right?
In the land of earthquakes and landslides and fires.
Right? Yeah.
So.
We're proud.
Anyway. So, final words on Magic Order.
Final.
we
Time
can.
I need to make another drink.
Oh, you need to make another drink? Okay.
We have a time limit?
No, we don't.
Other than people's patience with us?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Ronnie and I could talk about comics all night long. Literally all night long. And when you add the gin and tonic and the absinthe, absolutely all night long.
The genesis of this show was Marita Beth works the Renaissance Fair circuit, and she makes
I'm making another drink.
Absolutely gorgeous costumes. Here, local in the DFW area, you would know her from Scarborough Fair, where she made costumes for most of the royalty out there, I would assume.
Not most, but a lot of them.
A lot of them.
I have had the privilege of costuming both, all four, I guess, of our most recent regents. I used to costume the old queen, and now I costume the new queen, costumed the king, and that's special because the festival has to ask me to do that, So those are special.
So she travels, and she does a fair up in Wisconsin also.
Okay, can we take this moment to cross our fingers
that it will still be happening?
There you go.
And then she does a fair down in Houston, the Texas Renaissance Fair. So in the times that she's still in the DFW area, in between these things, we usually try to get together to at least do breakfast once a week for a month or so while she's in town. And invariably we'll talk about politics and comics. And so
that really matter,
So Carlos asks if you still have your Bernie Wrightson art from when he came to the Heroes store signing.
Yes. I do. I could pull out my sketchbook and show you my amazing Bernie Wrightson page.
So basically the genesis of this was we used to do this all the time. We'd set, and I would catch her up on the last year's worth of comics.
Hi, Carlos. Sorry about that. I should have said, hi, Carlos. Sorry. Go ahead.
Morgan just posted a teaser that y'all can go look at from Hangar 13. I will do that as soon as we get off. If I was smarter on this program, I could probably pull it up within the program, but I don't know how to do that. But so Rita Beth and I would always talk about comics. And the idea, I'd been wanting to do a series that combined alcohol and comics for a while, because they're my two favorite things. And no, I'm not a drunk. I just love the taste of it. I know everybody says that, but
I can stop anytime I want to.
Yeah, I can. And I do. It's like almost the only time I ever drink anymore is when I'm on camera. So, and the idea came about because it was like,
say the same
thing. That's because you're not on camera enough.
Hopefully, judging from this, I am on camera plenty. This is all the world needs.
See, I get to be on camera, 5 times a week or something like that. So, so anyway, that's how we got started on this show, is because I thought it would just be a fun way to get a outsider's view, since she's not all caught up with everything, and she gets to look at it from a very fresh perspective, whereas I look at it from the old jaded comic guy perspective. And so that's why I took her a big stack of graphic novels so that she could choose which one she wanted to do, rather than me saying, well, you need to read this and this is what we'll talk about. It gives her a chance to, pick out something and talk about how she enjoyed it and why she enjoyed it, and it's different than the way and why I enjoy it. So the hook for me was the 5-year-old boys, slamming the knife up through the jaw into the brain, and that wasn't the hook for you.
No, it was not. It was not. Yeah. No, I'm a kinder, gentler. Yeah, but my husband and I have the same problem. We don't like almost any of the same entertainment. So it's okay. Oddly enough, we meet in the middle at modern musicals. We meet in the middle at modern musicals. Who knew? He won't watch a rom-com. He won't do it. He doesn't like shows about people, touchy-feely things. This new Ricky Gervais. I love Ricky Gervais. He's got a new show that I'm all into. I've watched the whole thing now, but I mean, it's all about how people feel and what you go through when you go through grief and that kind of thing. And Kyle is like, no, he'd rather watch Transformers or some, cars flying and people dying and blood everywhere. That's his style. And I'm like, nope, sorry. So, but Rent, Les Miserables, those things we watch together. But you watch more action stuff too.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you like the more action-oriented part of the comic book. Whatever, not my thing.
I like storytelling,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, there's plenty of comics that I like that don't have a 5-year-old boy killing somebody in the first panel.
It's funny though. It does play into the whole Kick-Ass thing. Kick-Ass is fucking funny.
Yeah. Well, and I'm also the same guy that could not get past the first episode of Walking Dead because they had that little girl zombie. And that little girl zombie is the one that I couldn't get past.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And whatever reason, I've never been able to watch the series.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't watch Walking Dead, but you read it, right? You read the book.
I read it, yes.
The comic, but you never got into watching it. I didn't know that.
Because that happened like 20 minutes into the first episode. and I turned it off. And if John Wick, I'm told that John Wick is a fabulous movie series that is just something that I would really enjoy. I can't get past the dog.
Wow. Okay. We all have our things. All of my girlfriends, everybody I know loves the book Outlander, right? And they made a TV thing about it, right? I don't do Outlander. There was a rape sort of scene too early in the book for me. I couldn't even finish the book. I was done. Done.
Yep.
Okay, maybe I'll give it another shot. I understand the context. Historical context is important, but yeah, we all have our triggers, and we're we're done.
I don't know about the book, but I know a lot of people that love the TV series. I don't know if that scene's in the TV series or not, but
I don't either. Didn't watch it that far.
But it's definitely the people that watch it because it's Scottish people bodice ripping.
Right.
Yeah,
that's part of it. I'm just not my thing. Sorry.
So
anyway, about Magic Order.
Well, I mean, there's not much more we can say about Magic Order without giving away the ending, and I really don't want to give away the ending.
No, I don't want to give away.
I will say that that was probably one of the harder parts about doing a full show with this one, is because you do not know what's happening in the ending, or at least I didn't the first time I read through.
Revisit that. Say that again.
The first time I read through, when I was reading it as a as I was reading it as a floppy, as a serial.
Oh.
I did not know how that sixth issue was going to go.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I bet. Yeah.
So,
yeah, because they've made it clear nothing is sacred.
right.
So yeah, I would bet that it'd be really hard to have a good idea of how this was going to go at the end. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense.
So that's why I don't want to delve too much into it, because it's hard to delve into it without giving away that ending.
Correct. So, yeah, I already went too close earlier in the show, so we won't do that again. Yeah.
So, yeah. But the characters are awesome. I do like, and I do want to know more about the prequels,
right?
And so I want at least a one shot of the Venetian.
Yes, exactly. We need to know more about the Venetian. And you know what I just noticed today when I reread it?
What's that?
What's her name? Gabriel's wife, the beautiful little black woman with the pretty dress. Gabriel's wife, who we are made to believe through 5 issues of this book, or the whole first half of the graphic, that she's totally normal, probably not magic. She's being protected by her guy, blah, 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 blah. There's a little nugget that I missed the first time around where she's visiting with Edgar, because Gabriel takes her there to be safe while he goes to confront the big badass and save the world.
Yeah.
And save the world before we know more about Gabriel, right? But he takes her there to be safe with Uncle Edgar because he can't leave the castle. And she lets this little nugget drop that I didn't notice my first time through at all. And I noticed it today and went, what?
There's a story there.
She says something about it's nice to be home.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, what? I thought you. I don't understand, and I want to know more. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. She's obviously got a story that we have no clue of.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why he's such a good writer.
Yeah.
He can leave these little nuggets without making it seem like a forced. You got to wait for a forced. You have to see the next episode, or you have to read the next issue, or whatever. He did tell a complete story with this, but he left enough nuggets out there that there's so much more you want to know.
Yeah, he absolutely told a complete story, and it's wonderful. And it even, for anybody who's worried about it, it has a feel-good ending. I mean, it's a great story. Great story. But it so totally has appendages that I want to read.
Yeah.
Prequels and sequels and different perspectives, like you said, to have the same story told from the different families' perspective would be really interesting. Yeah. What led up to that moment when their reality disappeared and suddenly there's somebody new on a new couch in a new apartment where they used to be? That there's a whole story there. Who are those people that just they just got wiped? Yeah, no, it's some great storytelling, but Mark Miller. I hope he appreciates that we're plugging his book. It's really good.
So, thinking back on, I think I know the answer already, but the graphic novel from when you worked for me before, from 82 to 96, what graphic novel or series of graphic novels
what I'm going to say
would you liken to this? Yeah.
Oh, would I liken to this?
Yeah.
Oh, would I liken to this?
Yeah.
And you have an answer in your head?
I think I mean, I know what it, I mean, it doesn't mean that it's exactly like this, but it left me that same feeling.
Sandman.
Yeah. It was Sandman told it in 10 volumes.
Yeah. But for anybody who doesn't know me, Sandman Neil Gaiman is a god. Like
an American god.
Okay, good. That's good. That's good, Ron. Thank you. I didn't go there quickly enough. Thank you. That was good. But yeah, no, truly, this man does no wrong. Does no wrong. And Sandman. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Which is another one that is in pre-production.
Sure. I love Mark Millar, but Sandman. That's really high praise for Mark Millar to compare to Sandman.
Sandman is in pre-production right now too.
Oh, dear. It's so cool. So cool.
Oh, that's true. Steve just brought it up. I can't wait for this.
What?
It's got an all-star cast.
An Audible? Like Audible, the
Books?
The app, or Audible?
Books.
Just verbal. Okay. All right.
And it's like the Lord of the Rings, where it's acted out. It's not just read to you. Mm-hmm. It's acted out.
That's so exciting. I did not know that.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah, James McAvoy is
Morpheus. Who's doing Death? I want to know who's Death. Does he know? Steve? Do you know, Ronnie?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll have to look into it. Of course he is. Gaiman is narrating it himself. So one of the perks of being a god is that your publisher goes, yes, sir. Anything you want, sir. So if you want to narrate your own story on your Audible book, you get to narrate your own story. Yeah.
Well, he's got the voice for it anyway.
So yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
He thinks he's late. He's not that late, but it's okay. I'm only on my third.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that series because Neil Gaiman has not let it happen enough times that I think that he's going to let it happen right. Kat Dennings, I'm not sure who she is.
I don't know either, but I'll be looking her up.
I was rereading, for some reason, I'm sure I knew it back then, but the Hulk issue where Bruce Banner and Betty Ross gets married. It's the one that has the white cover on it, and Hulk and Betty are getting married. For some reason, like I said, I'm sure I noticed it the first time through, but I was rereading it, and Death is in there. She's at a bar getting a drink. You only see her from behind.
That work, Marvel DC.
Huh?
How does that work between Marvel and
you only see her from behind, but you see the little tank top that she wears, and she's alabaster skin. And Jean Grey walks up to her, and Jean Grey says, "I feel like I know you." and the character, without ever turning around, says, yes, that was with Peter David as a writer. The character, without ever turning around, says, "Yeah, I gave you a break."
That's awesome.
And it was
that's brilliant. Peter David, he's another really brilliant writer.
Yeah, but like I said, I never noticed that the first time around. But one of the things that, one of the reasons why sometimes it takes me a long time to prepare books for the live sales that we do is I'll be going through them to make sure they look good and everything, and next thing I know, I've read it.
Right.
So,
well, just be a minute. Yeah.
Michael, this sweet lady is Marita Beth. Marita Beth worked for me from 1982 to 1996. She was my general manager of the Heroes chain of stores that I had back then. She is now a costumer, I guess. Is that Seamstress, costumer,
Designer. Yeah.
huh?
Designer and costumer.
Designer, for the Renaissance festivals that happen across the country. And I've known her ever since she was Nurse Goodbody.
Oh, you have to go there. Wow. That's, it's not fair to go there when I'm 3 gin and tonics in and might just like talk about it. It's not. Oh, I was so much younger then. I promise.
I was too.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. A long time ago. And you and I will have to discuss the 1982 thing, because I'm not sure in 1982 I was technically working for you.
No, you weren't working for me.
Right. I think that started a little later.
You were in my dreams.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have to define working, and it doesn't work for me at that point.
For laundry.
That was a little later.
but it was about the same time as
1982 is when we met. It's not when we started working together.
No.
I started working for you in about 85.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 85.
Okay.
And then full-time working for you in like 88 or 89, I guess. Yeah.
So was it only really 5-6 years?
Yeah, the full-time working for you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Full-time working for you was just about 5 years. Yeah. 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 It's just years were longer then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Although this one seems pretty damn long.
Younger years take longer. The older you get, the faster they go.
This one is taking forever. 2020 is a pretty damn long year.
2020 is going to be a year that we never forget.
Yes.
It's going to be, yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. It's totally the 1929 of our generation.
Yeah.
It is the year we will never forget.
Yep.
Yeah. A pleasure to meet you too. The comment. So one of the things you would laugh at me if you had seen me today. My husband set up because I'm on his computer, right? Because mine isn't new enough to handle this technology. So I played this afternoon with this thing, and you should have seen me checking all my old pairs of glasses to see which ones work the best. And none of them are good. They all require me to go, sometimes I have to do this and sometimes I have to do that. Yeah. So it's hard for me to read the comments. So that's why I'm sometimes slow. So anyway, that's why I didn't see you. You keep seeing people come in before me, because if I'm focused on us and knowing what you're doing, I can't read. I have to be a totally different distance from the computer screen to be able to read. It's all getting old. It's getting old.
Yep.
So we've had people with us for a long time. I don't know how patient people are going to be, Ronnie. Do we need to wrap it up? Do we need to make it about the thing and say we love you, goodbye? Or do we go on until we've had too many gin and tonics?
Well, I just made another drink. So we have to at least go until I'm through with this drink.
Okay.
So do you need to go make another one?
It means I have to slow down, or I need to speed up and make another one. I don't know. Pardon?
Nothing. I haven't had too many drinks, and I can't filter myself every once in a while.
Let's see. What else do we want to say about the book, though? I want to say something else about the book.
Steve actually made a comment earlier.
Which was?
Let me see if I can find it.
Somebody else is asking you how long you've been in the business. Did you actually answer that question?
I didn't see that. James, Um, I've been in the business since 1982.
A long time.
So a couple of years. Hey, Steve, Steve, I will message you right after this show, and we will get you on next week.
Oh, yay!
Because we can have another person on. So
I could be the one commenting, and he could be the face.
We can have all three faces on there talking, so we can hear each other.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So.
Really? Okay. I should probably double check with my husband and make sure I can have the computer next Thursday night. But I would love that.
Yeah. So I didn't know that you started the same year I did, Steve. That's cool.
He started, but when you say you started, Steve, you mean you started Steve's Comic Relief. You were in, it was yours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when Ronnie started, he was not the owner yet. He was the manager. And then he became the owner soon thereafter.
Yeah.
So
I talked myself into it.
So the guy,
yeah,
without naming names, is he still alive? He's not, right?
I have no idea, really. I haven't talked to him.
We don't know?
I talked to his ex-wife, but I don't talk to him.
Okay. Then I won't say anything.
Yeah.
Don't want to say anything bad. He was a nice guy, but he was not into the business.
No.
He let Ronnie do the whole thing.
Yeah, because he was a distributor up in New York.
Yeah. So when it came time for him to go, I'm kind of done with this, there was no other choice. It was natural for him to sell to Ronnie. So.
Hey, Michael, that's when I graduated high school, too. I graduated in 1982 and talked somebody into letting me run and buy a store as soon as I got out of high school. Went to college and didn't do very well my first time around.
Yeah. The second time around, you came out with a master's degree.
Second time around, I got a master's. But yeah, the first time around, I was a little too young.
Yeah.
So.
And I was in college in the early 80s when Ronnie was graduating and bought the store. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you were in college when I was still in high school.
Oh, I know, baby. Thanks. Thanks for letting everybody know that I'm the old one on the phone call.
You photo robber, you.
Love that.
So,
old is, there are days when I feel old, and there are days when I feel older. And that's where that is at this point. There's no ever feeling young. Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. It's like there are days that I'm reminded that I'm not 20. Usually right after I load a truck or unload a truck.
That's because you load 60-pound boxes by yourself. Yeah.
But I mean, I think that I can do it. I know I can do it. It just hurts me later.
Yeah. Well. Oh. Wow, that's neat. Oh my God.
So we're talking here about Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics book.
Yep.
That's kind of cool.
So again, not understanding the technology. Can all of our viewers see Steve's comment?
Yeah, when I do a show like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Somehow I missed that. I was going back up because you mentioned that there was another comment that I'd missed. So I was going back up to. Okay, I think I got all the comments now.
Good. So.
Oh, this was the one that I was going to show you.
Steve ordered the book we're talking about tonight?
Yep.
Yay! Good. That's good. I think you'll really enjoy it, hon.
If he would have ordered it from me, I would have given him a discount. But
No, it's a good book. It's a good book.
It is a very good book.
What are we doing next week?
You have to tell me. We'll talk with Steve and make sure that that we can get a book that we can all get. Hey, Michael, I'm not doing whiskey tonight. I am going magical with absinthe. I have my sugar cubes. I have my spoon. I don't set it on fire because that's not safe.
No, especially after having 2 or 3.
Yeah, you don't want to pour alcohol on something and then set it on. Plus, I just don't like the way that I tried it once, and I don't like the way that the caramelized sugar tastes.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Really? Interesting.
Not in this drink. Not in this drink.
Interesting.
I like caramelized sugar and other things, but
so as much as I love alcohol, absinthe is not one of my things. I don't do it very well. Kyle likes it.
Yeah.
But it's anise, right? It's anise flavored.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Black licorice. I grew up. My mother likes black licorice, and as a child, I was like, oh no, I've never developed an appreciation for it.
Well, remember the Black Orchid Society?
Yes.
That was Chambord.
Well, see, I don't dislike Chambord.
But isn't that a black licorice?
No, Chambord is raspberry.
Oh, raspberry. Okay.
Yeah, I like Chambord. Now, I can see that the two might marry. I've never done it. But the two might go well together.
I may have to try that.
But Chambord is wondrous little aperitif sort of drink. In fact, I just had a little bit of that yesterday.
The only way to have Chambord is to mix it with some vodka, some rum, and some gin, and
that's a lot of liquor. What are you talking about?
That's what the Black Orchid was.
Chambord, vodka, gin,
and rum.
Oh no!
And a little bit of Sprite.
Raspberry Long Island iced tea.
Huh?
It's like a raspberry Long Island iced tea.
That's exactly what it was.
What? Okay.
And it was good.
I'm sure, as long as you don't need to do anything afterwards.
Russ and I got kicked out of many restaurants drinking those.
I have no doubt. No doubt whatsoever. So
Did you see?
If Steve is, oh my God,
Steve, was that the first time you met Marita Beth?
No, it couldn't be. Couldn't be.
Because I have those photos. I will bring those next week.
I have those photos too.
For those that don't know, Marita Beth dressed up as Betty Page at a diamond meeting. It was Steve says it was the very first time that he met you.
Really? Okay.
It was at a diamond seminar.
So many less wrinkles.
You dressed up. Steve says he doesn't have those photos. I'll share them with you, Steve. I've got them digitally.
Yay.
Rita Beth made a wonderful Betty Page. And I can't remember, you were receiving an award for something, right?
That's not the same show, is it? It couldn't be, because I knew Steve for way longer than.
No, it wasn't the Eisner Award. Mm-hmm. It was, but you were up there for something for Heroes because
really?
You were behind the podium. Yeah. It was the same show that Clyde Barker was at. That Clyde Barker gave Neil Gaiman gave the commencement speech, and then Clyde Barker, because that was the Neil Gaiman talking about tulips. And
was that same event?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. Anyway, I don't. A long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm old and I drink. I forget things. What is the?
Hey, Morgan, I will figure. my lovely daughter is telling me that I need to catch up with the technology that I'm using or that I'm half using. Morgan, I promise I will have that down by next week.
We should figure that out.
I think I have to preload them. I think that's the thing.
So that we're not doing this whole where's the camera?
Yeah.
No, you're right. We should be better. We should be better.
Yeah, because there should be a way, like I just made it smaller with that in the background.
Why? That was weird. Woo.
And then I can do this. Yes, that's right. The Tulips was in Atlanta. Remember that drive? Because it was.
I do remember that drive. God.
Because it was all of us, and then James Eccles and Annette, and everybody was in another car, and we drove from DFW to Atlanta for that show.
We sure did. We were so much younger, Ron.
I still make those drives.
Well, I guess technically I still do too. I go to Wisconsin and Maryland and all these other places, but still, it's harder than it used to be.
Except for this year. I am so...
See what happens.
I am so missing shows this year.
You what?
I am so missing conventions this year.
We all are.
So.
Yep. It's a weird one. But it spawned things like this.
Yes.
That's the
social distancing. Yeah.
That's the silver lining right there. Look at that.
Yep. So I will, we're down to just 2 viewers now, so we can probably wrap it up. But what I will do is start a group chat with Steve, and we'll figure out what we want to do for next week.
Okay. I will, since it's just us, I will lovingly tell you, you are not obligated to have me again. I know that the plan was for you to have a different person each week. No. So next week is Steve. I'm happy to just listen and call in.
No, we'll do it. Yeah, this is a evolving thing. So,
well, this has been.
We'll get all of the crew on here.
So much fun.
Well, good. I'm glad. Thank everybody for watching and sticking around. Yep. Here it is. I'm going to get that right here soon.
Yeah, toward me.
It's empty now. We can end.
It is too, almost.
So thank everybody for joining us. Next week, we'll be doing it again with a different graphic novel. We will discuss and see what we want to talk about next week. As always, I do have the graphic novels that we talk about for sale in the store and on our website. We have a new website that we just launched today called brainycomics.com. The staycollected.com is still alive, but since it is married to the Comic Hub program, I can't do as many other things with that. It's pretty much, it's a wonderful way to get your subscriptions, your things like that, but it's not so good on exclusive products and non-comic products. So I went ahead and started another website called Brainy Comics, comics that are good for your brain, that is powered by Collected Comics, that we are listing all of our non-comic stuff on. And it has all of our graphic novels, games, dice, exclusive covers, and things like that. So if y'all, I'm about to go back up and watch the link that my lovely daughter sent with her teaser for what's coming out on Tuesday.
Please tell me what that's all about, would you, when you have a minute?
Yeah.
Good.
And then we will do this again next Thursday at 7 o'clock. I got all choked up there. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you, Ron. Good night.